You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hello, pal.
Hello, pal.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good.
It's good?
It's spring. Spring has sprung.
Doesn't it feel good? Like the days are so long. We have daylight. I know people make fun of me for being so excited about it, but it's fabulous.
The snow is gone. The snow is pretty much gone. Well, my snow's gone. Your snow might not be gone.
I still have a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Just a little. It's not, you know what? I don't care. Like yesterday, I was out without a coat. I don't care.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So that's why everything's A-okay.
Yeah. But doesn't it mess you up sometimes? Like sometimes I'll be at my desk and I'm working away. And then I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 7:00. But because it's still light out and I still see the sun up, I don't realize how late it is. Yeah. Which is good.
It's a good thing. And then we could go outside, like you said, without our jackets on, go for a walk, get some fresh air, and not have to wear a toque. It's great.
It is. Yep. It's a good time of the year. All positive things ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So today, Carrie, we were going to talk about the after hours events at Walt Disney World.
Right. That's right. Because I went to one.
You did. You went to one on your last trip. And we haven't really delved into it. You and I haven't even really talked about it since you did that.
No.
I did one I did one before as well, and I really enjoyed it, but it's been a little while since I think I did it right when it first started, like when they first announced them. So yeah, we wanted to talk about it, opinions, updates, reviews.
Yeah, I don't know if I went to one before. Like, I think if I did, it would have been a long time ago too. Like maybe when they first started doing them more often, but maybe not. I don't know.
So for people listening, the after hours events in Magic Kingdom, they are $175 plus tax and up. Hollywood Studios starts at $155 and Epcot starts at $155 and up.
And they do them like they do them like here and there, right? Like it's not like it's something that they always do year round, or like for instance, I think on March break, like they don't have any, like, you know, there's certain times the windows where they like maybe when it's busier they don't. Spring break, maybe they have them. I don't know. Like this, it's not like it's a regular schedule often where you could depend on them.
No,
being
because
there or the schedule fitting for your trip either, right?
Right, because they're not necessarily standard dates. And I think that's also because like for some parks, the parks are open later. So they're actually closing it a little early to do the after hours.
Right.
Right? Like I think like the Magic Kingdom one I'm looking starts, you know, the event takes place from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. So you're paying. So I'm just looking at a random date, April 7th, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. And it's $197.03 US for us Canadians. For us Canadians, that's a lot of money. Add like 40%.
$500.
Yeah. Now you can check in for the event starting at 7 p.m. So it's not like it's only 3 hours you get. You get 6 hours. But basically it's from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yeah. And they list all of the rides and attractions that are open.
Right.
And then they have like popcorn and ice cream and soda and water and whatever that comes with your admission.
So so that's different, right? Like, so what comes with the admission is you get free popcorn, free ice cream novelties, and select bottled beverages. So is water included in that?
I think so, yeah. I don't think I got one that night. I think I just got ice cream.
Oh my gosh.
Popcorn.
Seriously. So you didn't even make use of the free stuff.
Popcorn. I think I think I
Yeah,
grabbed the
but
popcorn
like,
to go.
okay, so popcorn. So we're talking $5 and a drink.
Yeah, I had ice cream, I
Oh, ice
think,
cream. So you
some
got
popcorn.
$10 worth of free food for your $197.
Yeah, maybe two popcorns and ice cream.
But the key to this one is that they only sell a limited number of tickets.
Yes. And like the day that I was there was a very, very rainy day. Like the
Oh,
whole day was rainy and it was rainy into the evening. So like at 7 o'clock when we could access the park, it was still rainy.
oh,
And the rain didn't stop until about like fireworks. I don't know what time the fireworks were at. Like maybe close to 10. And and it stopped raining then. So then the rest of the evening wasn't too bad. But but I would think like if you paid all that to go in, like even if it was raining, you probably would just don a poncho, right? Like it wasn't
oh
torrential,
yeah.
it wasn't a storm, like there was no reason for them to cancel it, like you would just don a poncho. So I'm not sure if my experience because of the rain is a real experience, like with the crowds versus
Oh,
if it
right.
was like a perfect evening.
Because
So
the
I don't,
crowds were so low because of the rain.
yeah, were the crowds low, extra low because of the rain, or with like I don't know, like do these things sell out? Like is it usually just low atten like I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know if my experience was altered because of the weather or not.
Right.
That's my
Right. So it was even quieter for you because of the rain. But they do limit the tickets. That's the whole point of this after hours event.
right. So you could easily like yeah, there's only those people are in the parks and you can really just run around and do whatever attractions. Like I went on like and I like this was all before the fireworks, so it was fairly early in the evening, right? Like there was still like 2 more hours after the fireworks. Like I went on the Haunted Mansion and there was one person in line with me.
Oh, wow.
Like you legit could have went over and over and over and over again. Like I walked up through the queue and there was like right in front of the doors, there was one person standing there with me. That was it.
That's
Like,
amazing.
and that's like now, like, yeah, like less than an hour into the event starting. So, if we were there, we're not running to go on like all of the Tron and the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Like, for me, like if you could go on Haunted Mansion over and over again and Pirates over and over again, and some of the things that you just don't want to wait in line for, Winnie
Peter
the
Pan.
Pooh, Peter Pan, all that stuff, um, like I quickly understood why people book this for sure. But the biggest eye opener for me was the fireworks. So they have the regular fireworks. So if you bought a ticket to this, you technically would have two fireworks that night because you could go in at 7 and watch the first fireworks that everybody in the park sees, and then they have fireworks after. So like they the fireworks during the event are the 50th celebration fireworks. So you
Mhm.
get to see two different
Nice.
fireworks. But like there was nobody on Main Street
Which is
watching
so
the
bizarre,
fireworks.
right?
Like we were kind of in the middle of Main Street, and there could have been like the next group of people were kind of at the end of Main Street where the hub starts. And even in the hub, like the hub had people, but it was like you probably could have spun around and danced and not hit anybody. Like
Yeah.
it
See,
was
that sounds
busier in the hub
so bizarre.
and it was lovely. Like I could definitely if like that to me if I could justify like to justify paying for that, like whether it's with your family or whatever, like to have that access to the rides, but like I love fireworks and the fact that
Yes.
I could have that fireworks experience like that, oh, it was awesome. Like my jaw just dropped. Like I could not believe, like I guess I shouldn't have expected that there was going to be people in the park to like fill the streets up, but like there was nobody on Main Street. Like
Nice.
nobody. Like we had it to ourselves. We could have ran up and down the street, danced, made our own parade. Like there was nobody on Main Street. So I don't know if that's more like because really, like most people would want to be closer. Like this is a great opportunity to be closer. But like some of the people I was with, they were up close to the castle and yeah, so much space. Like so nobody nobody butting in front of you, nobody on anybody's shoulders. Like there was so much room to spread out and get great pictures and enjoy it. And it was awesome. So that was what I was surprised about the most.
Yes. And that's an experience because the fireworks, obviously we watch the fireworks from wherever and we've watched them from different places in the park. But Main Street really is like right in front of the castle is the best place to watch fireworks. They're designed to be symmetrical and, the projections on the castle and all that stuff. But when it's really busy, sometimes you don't want to be in front of the castle because it's shoulder to shoulder. So this sounds like the perfect experience when you can be in front of the castle without like shoulder to shoulder with everybody else.
And not even in the shoulder to shoulder is one thing. Like it can get really shoulder to shoulder, but it's also the waiting. Like people will wait an hour or more to sit, like to be up at the castle in a good spot with a good view. Like you wait forever for that as well.
Yeah, so you don't have to with this.
Then you stand up and then everybody stands in front of you and you can't see anything anyways after you've waited for 1.5 years. So
that is definitely that is a huge plus.
It was so like I don't know, like if you you trade off one thing for the other, like if you were gonna buy Lightning Lane for the family and whatever versus going and spending your money there and having kind of the park all to yourself.
Yeah.
Eating as many ice creams and filling your bag up with as much popcorn as you possibly can.
There's something great about Disney popcorn. It's so good.
Yeah, they give you the little paper, like they have it all set up in like the paper boxes. So like they just hand out paper boxes of popcorn one after another. But yeah, I'm sure my experience was different because of the rain. So I wouldn't mind like seeing what it's like on a beautiful, like maybe when it's busier and the weather's perfect. It'd be interesting to see what that experience is like. But
yeah. And would you do it at the other parks? So it's available at Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Probably not.
No,
probably not. For me, like I think because of how I feel about Magic Kingdom, like how busy it is, how big it is, like I don't necessarily enjoy my time there as much as other parks. Like I think I would definitely prioritize Magic Kingdom for my ticket into that before the rest. Like the other parks I'm okay going to and doing what I do usually, but like with Magic Kingdom I usually just get a little frustrated, right? It's so busy, it's so big,
right?
Trying to do what I want to do, and then I just sit on a bench and pout that I'm not at Disneyland. So this gave me the opportunity to like be in the park and really enjoy it, do what I want to do without any of those.
Yeah, because I guess blocks. At Hollywood Studios, it would be good for the attractions.
Yeah, like if you wanted to go on the attractions for sure. Like for me, I don't know, like, without Muppet 3D there. Like I like to go which rides do I always go on at Hollywood Studios? Like Mickey and Minnie's and Muppets 3D. Like I could go many times and not go on the Star Wars rides
but if you did, like you're not fussed if you didn't get to the Star Wars stuff.
But when you go to Magic Kingdom, there's so many things to do that I'd be happy to do. So
and yet the pricing's very similar.
Yeah. Well, I think Hollywood Studios has got enough like very, very popular attractions.
But is World Showcase open in Epcot?
Probably just it would just be the big attractions. See, the thing with Epcot too, like for Epcot, like because like we often stay in the deluxe resorts. Like for Epcot, my go-to now is to do that 2 extra hours for the deluxe resort stay.
Right.
Because then you can do those, you can do the
do
three
whatever.
biggies
Yeah.
in that couple of hours. Because everything else in the park's pretty doable during the day.
So see, it kind of, when you think about it that way, so you use the deluxe resort, you do the extra 2 hours. If you were doing a family of 4 at one of these after hours events, that's easily $800.
Mm-hmm.
So could you, if you were already staying at a moderate, upgrade to a deluxe for a few nights?
How many nights you're staying,
right?
Yeah,
Depending on how many nights you're staying, like it might not be that much of a stretch to get to the deluxe for a bit.
If you have big enough, like I would think that both of those things are more attractive with like having kids that are bigger, right? Like, you're not like if you got little ones, but yeah, like I think if your kids are old enough and got the gusto to stay up late, then those 2 extra hour late nights, like extra hour late night at Magic Kingdom too. And I've done it, but it just didn't. It wasn't like the after hours.
It wasn't.
Let me tell you.
So that's the difference, right? Like the after hours is a lot quieter than the 2 extra hours.
Yeah, well, to me, having that fireworks experience was unbelievable. So
right.
Yeah, but yeah, you could just stay in a deluxe for a couple nights and take advantage of. You just got to time your trip so that
you have to time it properly.
That they do those. Yeah, but at Epcot, that's like you could do Ratatouille, Frozen, and Guardians
easily
in those 2 hours.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So to pay for the after hours experience at Epcot, like that,
like that's what you're getting access to. You're getting access to the.
Like, is that worth it?
I guess it depends on.
Well, and they do have Disney characters out, so they have meet and greets. They say in Epcot,
yeah.
Like they'll have extra meet and greets. I'm assuming. Did they have extra meet and greets at Magic Kingdom?
I'm trying to think if they must have. They must. I don't know that I saw any though.
Like it just seems
rainy. Like it was really, really, really rainy. So there wasn't any, but like they would have had to have ponchos on. So they would have definitely had raincoats and ponchos on if there was any characters. When I say it was rainy until it was really rainy.
Yeah,
it was soggy. Everybody was soggy, rainy.
I don't know. Like I think you're right. I think it would be worth it for me at the Magic Kingdom. I don't know. I don't know that it would be for Yeah, I don't know if I would want to do it at the other parks.
Yeah. Yeah, Magic Kingdom, like you could just swoop and do so many attractions. Like there's so many things to do.
Right.
And kind of you could tackle the different area. Like you think at Epcot too, like even getting from Ratatouille to Guardians is quite a commute, right? Like
it is. It's a bit of a jaunt. Well, I looked it up just to check. And there is an answer from the Plan Disney panel about World Showcase. And it says, while most attractions will be available throughout World Showcase during this ticketed event, not all of the country pavilions and the retail and dining locations will be. So, it says attractions, entertainment, and experience are subject to change without notice. So what that tells me is they're not giving you extra access to World Showcase, which quite honestly is one of my favorite parts of Epcot. Now, so it's really to get on those attractions.
It is. I think it absolutely
and the
is.
Characters. Yeah,
because like even I would expect at Epcot it would be like probably some drink booths would be open and at the front of the park connections and then when you're leaving the pin store and those stores there, like I don't think anything else would be open because at Magic Kingdom it was pretty much just Main Street that was open for
right. Right. So that's another consideration too. Like it's not the full park. It's not everything when you go to these after hours events. It's really, I think, targeted at people it's an easier way to experience the attractions,
Mhm.
and to get on as many attractions as you want. And I think in Magic Kingdom, that could be totally worth it, especially if you wanted to do like Seven Dwarfs and Tron and Space Mountain and all the ones that are traditionally, but even you're right, like Peter Pan and Haunted Mansion, like having those as walk-ons would be, for
Mhm.
those of us that know what those lines can be like, that can be like gold.
And I think it depends on if it fits for you too, right? Like some people don't want to run around, like some families I'm sure don't want to run around like crazy for 3 hours. Like they'd much prefer to tackle Magic Kingdom over 2 days on their.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. Like you wonder who this is really like. Who books this? Like, are they the people that like if they can afford it and it's like they can find value in it? Like it's just kind of an add-on, right?
Yes.
Like a bonus 3 hours at Magic Kingdom to kind of get stuff done. Like I'm sure lots of people have like there's lots of different reasons why people choose to do it maybe,
I think it's
but
definitely it really depends on your budget. Like if you have that kind of disposable income to put on something like that, especially if you're paying for your whole family. Like sometimes when I look at some of these things and I'm like, you know what? Like, do I want to spend the money? Do I not? But I'm only buying one ticket.
mhm.
Like I don't have to buy five. Like, can
Yeah.
you imagine?
Yeah.
That's $1,000 for 6 hours for your
Well,
family
and
of
I think
five.
yeah, like and I think like you said it's like the just like having that like being able to truly afford it like because there's not people like I don't know anybody that goes and stays on site for a week and they say okay well we're not going to go to Magic Kingdom but we're going to just buy those tickets and that's going to be our
Yes.
Magic Kingdom time, right? Like it's definitely above and beyond what you've
In
already got
addition.
planned for yeah, in addition like if you're a traditional like first time traveler, second time traveler, like you're not putting all of your Magic Kingdom eggs in one bucket. I have a friend that like one of my girlfriends from college, and they haven't been to Florida in a couple of years, but they always stay off site, and they for years they were going for like 2 weeks for Florida, and she would buy like the um the SeaWorld, like the Busch Garden SeaWorld pass, because it's such a good value. Like you get like 14 days for whatever. And they would always like put their eggs in that basket and they'd have a car, they'd be in a house, they'd drive all over the place, they'd keep themselves busy. And every year they went, because they would always go in the fall. Their only time at Disney was they would buy a Halloween party ticket or a Christmas party ticket, whatever time. They usually went around Halloween. They would buy Halloween party tickets for their family and they would go in. And I bet you if I asked her, she probably never saw parade. She never saw
Yeah.
fireworks because her kids, like they go, right? Like they just are always doing stuff, always having activities. Like they did it a few times where they literally go in the park for the party and just ride rides all night long. Everybody's trick or treating, everybody's dressing. These guys are just like, come on, kids, this is a Magic Kingdom time. And then
This
they
is
run
it.
around like crazy. And like I've been joking, like I bet you she's never seen a Halloween party parade. Like they did it a few times. They definitely did it a few times. I think they did it once, like properly, like they went in
Yeah.
for the day, but then they were like, I don't know, we just want to be there for the ride. So then they saw value in just buying the Halloween party ticket for their family and then going in and doing complete opposite of what everybody else was doing in the park.
That's
So
one way to
everybody like
maximize the
there's
time.
different like there's lots of different reasons why people do things like and that's
Mhm.
like a far like whatever example like oh you know I've never really met anybody who's done that before multiple times.
I know
Right.
that's kind
But
of that is, but it's a good reason, right? Like it's a good way to sort of maximize your dollars too. If you're just going to go to the party and you're just going to focus on the rides and not the
mhm.
character meets, the parade, all that kind
And
of
they would
stuff.
get everything done. They'd go on all the
Yeah.
rides, and they
Yeah.
would, and it's just so, they got the gusto to stay late, so they probably closed the park, and they just ran around and did all kinds of. I'm sure they must have collected. I hope they collected some candy along the way, but you never know. But that's what they wanted to do. So.
But that's another important point. Like, depending on how old your kids are, can they stay up till 1 o'clock? Like, there's no point in
Mhm.
buying these tickets and your kids are tired and cranky by 11:30.
Yeah, you got to
And you haven't
understand
made
that.
the most of it, right? Like you've got to be able to keep them up that late to get the value out of it.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so I think we've covered it, but I'm going to ask you, would you do it again? Like, would you buy another after hours ticket for Magic Kingdom?
If you're a Disney fan, then you should listen to Carrie and Fran. They laugh and chat and help you make a plan. If you're going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, and you will become a Pixie Dust fan.
Would you do it again? Like, would you buy another after hours ticket for Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, I'm not for Magic Kingdom. I could be coerced into buying another.
You could be talked into it, but
like,
not
you
for
know, like
Epcot.
is it going to be on my to-do list? And not necessarily, but if someone was like, "I'm going to the after hours at Magic Kingdom,
Do you want to
come?" And I'll be like,
Carrie,
sure.
but in fairness, it's not hard to talk you into much. Like, it really isn't.
Sure. I could probably be talking to going to the after hours at the other places. So let's be clear.
Let's be
real.
If you and I were there together and I said, Carrie, I want to go to the one at Epcot. Like, do you want to come? You'd probably be like, okay.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, but seriously, like I definitely could understand the value in that, and maybe I would have to experience the others to be convinced of the others, but for sure. I completely understand the value. Like it was
in the Magic Kingdom.
It was like, oh my goodness, like this is why they do them and why people pay to come. That
was my experience too. Yeah.
By the firework time, I had the aha moment, and there were still 2 more hours left, and I was like, makes sense.
I get it.
So I was glad I got to experience it. Yeah.
Awesome.
I get it.
Well, who knows? Maybe we've talked some people into trying the after hours experience on their next trip. They're going to have to let us know if they do.
Yeah.
Although I'm thinking it might be time for me to try it again.
Yeah.
We'll see. But then when I get there, then I'm like, do I want to spend $200 on a ticket for this? Or there's so many merchandise things and other things that I want to buy with my $200. Like I always think it's this or this. That's my problem with my spending. I always think it's got to be this or this. I never say I'll do both, which is probably a good thing. Because
when I was there, because it had been a little while, there was a lot of new merch. Like it was pretty cool. Like it was one of those trips where like there was so much new merch you actually enjoyed like looking at stuff.
Yeah.
It only took a couple of days and then you'd seen all the new stuff and then you're seeing it over and over and over again. There's nothing like a trip where like you walk through the store the first couple times and you're just like, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Ooh, look at that. So
yeah.
I quite enjoyed the new merch, although I didn't buy a thing.
I know.
And I wish I would have thought about that before I left because I probably would have bought something. But I didn't realize until I got home that I didn't buy myself anything. I realized that when I got home, I was like, I didn't buy myself a thing. Like if I would have thought of that, I could have even bought some at the airport for goodness sake. But I came home with nothing.
Bought yourself something. You should have bought yourself a treat.
Stuff. They have cute little bracelets, like like they had all kinds of stuff. I just didn't. Kind of like I think when we go there, and I'm sure you're the same. Like when we get there, like we're like, oh yeah, we'll decide later. We'll figure that out later, and then all of a sudden your trip's done, and you're like, oh,
yeah, and we didn't buy anything.
Go back,
but that's okay because if we were the ones that like picked up everything as soon as we saw it, we'd be broke. That's the problem. That's why we kind of were like, yeah, we'll think about it or whatever. And then I feel like that's why once we finally purchased something, it was really meant to be.
And the only thing that I brought home, I bought the pressed pennies from Muppets 3D.
Right, of course you did.
So I bought, so I did buy that. That's not really merch. It cost like $3. I think I spent $4.
Aw, you deserve to buy yourself some treats next time.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll have future podcasts future trips. Right now, you and I are a bit dry on trips for a little bit.
I know. We
Which
can't
is
decide
fine.
what we're doing.
Yeah, we're having some struggles deciding what we're doing, but it'll all work out. We always figure it out, and there'll be good trips coming up. But I think we've done our part to talk about the after hours events. So thank
Indeed.
you. Carrie, it's that time of the podcast. What's your pixie dust? What brought you some joy this week?
Well, I was gonna say my button. I was gonna say my button maker. Your button maker.
Yeah.
The royal we button. I don't know who the button maker. The button maker is yours, but it is permanently installed in my craft room at my house.
I think it's yours now.
that recently I got the button maker working after it hasn't worked. Like, do you remember when I took that button maker home? Like, was it before COVID, during COVID?
I think it was either before or at the beginning of COVID, because it broke and we couldn't figure out, because you were here, we were trying to make buttons. You didn't believe me that I couldn't, like, it was broken. And then you came in and then it was broken for you too. And you said, well, I'll take it home and see if I can fix it.
Right. So let's just say then, for this, like, on the long haul,
the long scale,
like, it's 5 years. Like 5 years I've had this button maker, brought it home, installed, like, screwed it into my craft room,
because
like,
you
so
thought it was
installed.
going to be easier, so that because it was moving when we were doing it, and that was why that it didn't work.
I still haven't made a button. I tried to make buttons over and over and over again, and I can't make a button on that sucker at all. And then my friend Joey, who has a button maker, I asked her to come over and help me, like, design a button. And I said, well, I'm probably going to have to go to your house and make the buttons, but can you come over and, like, give me button designing 101? So she came over, she brought her button maker, considering, like, because that's my friend Joey. She just, like, the button maker weighs like 50 pounds. She threw it in a tote bag. She brought it over because she thought, well, worst case scenario, we'll use my button maker. So we designed buttons. I printed some. I started cutting them out. And I said, well, come down to my craft lab and let's see if you can figure it out, because I haven't been able to make a decent button in like 5 years. I explained the story, how you made buttons like crazy, then all of a sudden I stopped making buttons. I ordered some ridiculously expensive plastic washer that I thought was missing. Joey says there's no washer at all. Like, so I bought this washer for no reason because hers doesn't have a washer. Anyway, so we go down to my craft room. We printed off the papers of the buttons we designed. And I'm cutting out the little circles, because you got to cut the circles out. Joey's over at my button maker. She's like taking it apart. She's lifted, there's 3 things. She's taken it apart and she just put it back together. Like 2 seconds. I barely even noticed that she did it. Like, that's how quick she took the things out, because there's 3 plates. So she took 2 plates from the bottom, the 1 plate from the top out. And then she just sitting there waiting for me to, like, cut these circles out. So, like, I'm cutting the circles out. I cut 6 circles out. She proceeded to make 6 perfect buttons. And then I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like whatever. So we've taken the 2 bottom thingies out, but we never took the top one out. So I think the top one was out of alignment. So
my gosh.
Like, again, it took her like 2, and she just does this sometimes because, like, her button maker, she has, like, we have the 2.5-inch button. She's got, like, she has the thing to make the little buttons. So she's always, like, if she's going to make different buttons, she always pulls them out and has to put the new ones in. Right. So she just, like, was pulling them out and, like, looking at it. Like, she just pulled them out, looked at them, put them back in, and then proceeded to make 6 perfect buttons. Then the next day, I proceeded to print out 30 buttons I needed to cut out. I cut out all 30 of those button things and proceeded to make 30 perfect buttons in a row. 30. After years of me trying to make buttons and that button machine eating my button.
Yes.
Like, not like wrapping
it used
it
to
around.
mangle them.
It mangled the buttons. And Joey just took it apart and put it back together. And when I say take it apart and put it back together, it's like pulling something out of like a peg out of a hole, pulling a peg out of a hole and putting them back in. Like, there's no alignment. There's no.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing.
There's no mad science about it
or scientific about this at all. It's like she pulled it out of the hole.
Like,
and
what
put
a
it back
bunch
in
of
the hole.
boneheads. We couldn't figure that out.
Capital Boneheads. Yes, we are the presidents of the Boneheads Committee. How many buttons have we tried to make over the years?
You can make us some buttons that say Bonehead Committee.
Like, honest to goodness, every time I want, like, I had an event or whatever, like I've tried to make buttons
Yeah.
so many times in the last 5 years. Like, and I could, and like
Like
maybe
the hours invested.
out of 10 buttons, maybe one would work.
Oh my gosh.
That's how bad it was. And so now we're back in
gosh.
in business, baby. We're back in the button making business.
I love it.
So part two of my pixie dust is the reason why I wanted to get the button maker. One of the reasons I want to get the button maker back together was that all of my high school friends are turning the big 50 this year. And Joey and I have this great Joey, every time, because my friend Jolene, she's a designer. Every single time it's somebody's birthday, she like crafts up like a special happy birthday graphic and like posts it on Facebook for them.
Aww.
So we had said, like, we need to make buttons. We're gonna make limited edition 2025 birthday buttons.
Oh
so
my
we had
gosh.
the first batch of our we had a lot of March babies. So we got all of our gang together for March birthday, whatever, and we made these buttons and they were a hit. Like, everybody thought they were the best. Like, these guys that their parents came, like, it ended up being a ginormous dinner out with our friends and some of their parents and whatever. People, we hadn't seen them since we were in high school, probably, or college. We hadn't seen their parents. But yeah, we made buttons. So all the March birthday people, we made them buttons. And so then the plan is, as we go along, we're going to try to do one in June for the like April, May, and June babies. We're gonna have that. That'll be a different series of buttons, and we're gonna do it throughout the year.
That's so fun.
Anyways, so the button maker worked, and then we had this pretty fun birthday bash last week with the beginners of the
beginners of that 50 club.
I'm the last one. By the time my birthday comes around, nobody's gonna want to do anything. Like, I'm gonna be the forgotten one.
They're gonna be all partied out.
Honest to goodness, we've met for dinner like 6 times this year. Like, nobody's gonna want to.
You have to decide how you want to celebrate it.
I've already joked with the group. I'm like, the gang. I'm like, why don't we wrap this year up in Las Vegas? Like, that would sound like that would sound like a really good thing. I could make the buttons and bring them to. Ideally, I would like to be in Disneyland around my birthday. That's the only place I'd like to be.
Aww.
So we'll see. I would like to go to Disneyland for the holidays because I do love the Christmas holidays.
Christmas holidays, yes.
That's enough about my multi.
I love it. Look at you with all this pixie dust. You're just full of pixie dust this week.
If you need a button, you just let me know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Joey showed me how to design them. So she made me like Canva templates where it's got like, where I can layer like all the circles and then I can hide them and make them so that it was like foolproof. So that when I actually print it, is the button size. Because that was my problem. I was like designing buttons in Canva or whatever way I was trying to design them. And then I like print them and they weren't the right size.
They weren't the right size. Yep.
So she does things like the proper way, like in Illustrator and whatever, but she designed them in Illustrator and made them like foolproof so that I can,
oh my gosh.
As a bonehead, I can actually design the buttons and print them so that they're the proper size, so that I could just cut them and then in mere seconds have buttons made.
That's awesome.
So
good.
What's your pixie dust? Other than there's lots of buttons in your future.
Yeah, so my pixie dust just isn't quite so exciting, but there is the moments of, Fran's a bonehead in it. I can't even remember last time. I think I talked about how I got my new treadmill, my new walking treadmill for under my desk. And I think it was day 2. I dropped the treadmill on my foot. So I couldn't walk, so I couldn't use the treadmill. So my pixie dust is that my foot, the swelling has gone down enough that yesterday I was finally able to like get back on it and walk for like an hour. Like, I could get my shoes on. I could, because I have indoor shoes and my indoor shoes aren't as stretched as my outdoor shoes. So my outdoor shoes, I could get them on because my foot was swollen, but my indoor shoes, that was a bit of a challenge. So now the shoes can fit on and I can get on the treadmill. So, or the walking pad or whatever while I'm working. So yeah, I'm very excited
for you
to get back on this. Yes.
That's awesome.
It took a little while because of the injury, but now I'm good.
The injury. What did you do? You skiing, snowboarding?
I know,
bicycle? Right? No, I dropped the treadmill on my foot. That's my kind of injury too.
Seriously, like it could only happen to me. And this thing is like, I think they said it's between 75 and 80 pounds. And I dropped it right on the top of my foot. Yeah. Yeah. It was not good. But anyway, I'm fine now. So, oh, good. That's my pixie dust. I can now start to walk again. So, yay.
Onward and upward.
Yes. Yes. Well, if you've made it to the end of this podcast, we appreciate you listening. And we'd love you to leave us a rating and review if you get a chance and tell somebody about us. And if there's a topic you want us to talk about, please send it in to us. Contact us on social media, send an email, however you want it.
I think we should have a Muppets 3D memorial episode.
We should. We should, Carrie. That's a good idea. Shall we put that on the schedule?
Yeah.
We'll talk about
We'll see if I'm up to it.
I don't know. Is it too emotional?
I don't want to be
too raw. Is it still too soon?
I don't want to be a mess on. Usually we're happy. We don't need everybody to hear me crying. So we'll see if I'm up to it.
Was it yesterday? I meant to send you this video because I was, have you seen this video of like Fozzie and Kermit talking? And Fozzie turns to Kermit and he's like, Kermit, there's somebody underneath me. And then he looks down and he's like, oh my gosh, Kermit, there's someone under you too.
Yeah,
oh my God, I was crying. Yes. So maybe that's a good idea. See, that's a good idea for an episode, but we're open to other ideas. So please send them in if you like them. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.